Hey guys, welcome to a special episode of the Tampa Bay Real Producers Podcast, which of course always comes at you powered by Top Producers Nation, which is a platform designed to help all real estate agents become top producers in their desired markets all over the country. And if you've been following our podcast, this is not our normal studio setup. As you may know, we've had some weather issues here in the Tampa Bay market. The building that we normally shoot at is locked down today. So we had to pivot, find another great studio, which we're coming at you at today up at the beautiful Forco Podcast Studios up in Land O'Lakes, Florida. And excited to be able to talk about one of our partnerships today that is something that we believe is going to be a huge value add for a lot of real estate agents in the days, months, and years to come. So we'll get to that here in just a second. I do want to say real quick that for all of you agents out there, I've been seeing a lot of video on social media over the last 24 hours. And I know we do have some people maybe joining on the live stream through our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. And if you're an agent out there who lives anywhere near the coastline and you're dealing with some of the chaos that I saw anywhere online, I've talked to a couple agents already this morning that have feet of water in their house. And I just want you to know we're praying for you. Our hearts break for those of you who have lost or seen an immense amount of damage already in your personal residences or, people you know. If there's anything that we can do to help, anything that we can do, if any of you are looking for places to stay or whatever the case may be, don't hesitate to reach out to us at TampaBayRealProducers.com. You can reach out to me directly as well. Many of you, of course, have my contact information, and we can do whatever we can do to try to help you guys if there's a need there. I know there's a lot of support, a lot of different programs out there to help you guys out, but it is tragic to see some of the stuff that I've seen online anyway from this storm. So with all that being said, we still wanted to come at you today with some content and some information that we think is going to be very valuable, especially with an event that we have planned coming up here in a couple of weeks. In fact, this event, which we're partnering with the Ease Association, Mr. Ken Monro, who you're going to meet here in just a second. This event was supposed to happen last night, so we decided to move it to October 10th, and you'll be hearing about that here on this show today, about why it's going to be, what we're going to do there, what we're going to accomplish, and all of that stuff. So let me introduce you to our guest today, and that's none other than Mr. Ken Monro. Ken, what's up, buddy?
Good to see you. How's it going?
Yeah.
Good to see you, too.
Ken is the founder of the Ease Association. Ease stands for Entrepreneurs, Agents, and Self-Employed Professionals. You can check it out, of course, at Ease, E-A-S-E, association.com to be able to learn a little bit more, of course. But we're going to dive in a little bit to Ken's story. And those of you who might not know this, Top Producers Nation is a community that we've been focused on building out for agents to help them become top producers. It consists right now, you can check it out, by the way, at topproducersnation.com. And it consists of a community group, a portal, a platform that you can share resources, learn from some of the other people that are in that community already. But it also has in there a coaching program. It's an actual 82-lesson course that you can literally go through right now and apply the principles in there to help you grow your business that lives in the community portal that we currently have set up for you. And then there's also a group coaching opportunity built into that program where we bring in top producers to answer questions. You can ask them questions. They have their own little superpowers that they can teach on. And we do that, of course, on a weekly basis on Zoom. So I got connected to Ken. I guess it was a couple months back now. We've been talking through this partnership now for a while. Yeah. And so Ken has a passion for helping real estate agents as well, just like I do. And so there's a lot of, I would say, very groundbreaking and just smart automation that Ken believes in with the Ease Association that he wanted to be able to unleash for real estate agents and to help them. And so we decided to really partner up through the Top Producers Nation community portal. And if once you get involved in that group, you'll notice that we do have an option for you to have your own full-fledged CRM build out with customized campaigns and marketing automation. And if you go into our community, you'll notice that there's a video that I have captured in there already walking through the 4 principles of being a top producer. The 4th principle in that video is me talking about the importance of marketing automation. And so our partnership with Ken and the Ease Association is a perfect lead-in for that, simply because marketing automation is what he does, right? And he's going to be able to help many, many agents do that, I think, not just in Tampa Bay, but really all throughout the country. So Ken, why don't we just start a little bit with your background for people to get to know you a little bit more and what you did before starting Ease.
Yep.
And then we'll transition to where did the Ease Association idea come from?
Yeah, well, I guess lifelong, I'm addicted to new. I've always been at the front of either a new market, a new product launch, a new geography, a new technology, and I've done that across multiple industries. So whether it was wireless technology, where I spent about 20 years doing that, doing in-building distributed antenna systems so that your cell phone worked inside of a building when it didn't before, and leveraging that for either the carriers or for public safety systems and statewide networks and these kinds of things. And then in the smart grid sector, where a company called S&C Electric, a 110-year-old company out of Chicago, largest manufacturing facility in the city of Chicago, basically started their communications division, which connected everything together. So Florida Power and Light last night, if you were at home and you saw a little flicker in your lights, that's because there was a short in your system and some automation turned it back on through a different route in the network. And those were the things that we did. So I ran that comms division for Smart Grid and rolled that out. And then in telehealth, which kind of led me in an indirect fashion towards what I'm doing right now. I was working with a company called Teladoc, which we now today even provide in our memberships unlimited virtual healthcare across 6 healthcare services.
Yeah, that's a cool program.
Yeah, as a part of joining, because as an entrepreneur in a small business, we don't have the parent company that's, go to the HR department and pick out your plan. It's you, pal, right? Mm-hmm. And so these are great snap-ons that, for under $20 a month, as a member, you're able to add on, unlimited healthcare for your whole family. You can see a psychiatrist every night of the week. You can see a doctor online within 10 minutes, 3 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, and it's all covered.
Yep.
So through that relationship, when I started to say, well, let's take this out, to who's the key market for this? It's entrepreneurs, it's small businesses, it's agents that are independent. And that's where the name came from, right? Just kind of, using a bunch of words to figure it out. But then the whole idea of ease really is the crux of what we're doing. So our mission statement is to continually help our members be more powerful, efficient, and profitable in support of the clients that they serve. And that's the most important part, because if we're not serving that second layer, the whole tent folds up.
Yep.
We all know that, right?
Yep.
So, but what that whole long sentence that I just used, it really comes down to helping them do more with less for more. So we can get more done with fewer resources at higher margins for more customers, for more markets, and so on. And we accelerate that process. And we're able to do that because as an association, we take on the task of going out and researching all the new, you're flipping through Instagram. Here's the 5 new AI websites you need to know about, right? And you'll see that every 2 minutes if you look at it once.
Sure.
And they're all amazing, right? Which one is best for which application? You want to talk about, avatars and video and voice emulation and, outbound callers and inbound callers that are using AI. Well, there's so many different variations of this, and which one's the best for you? And then there's the next layer of which one's the next for you as a real estate professional. Mm-hmm. And so digging down into those different layers by application, by market sector, it comes back to one of the key tenets that you started with is, you're working on your business, right? Do you want to work on your business or do you want to work in your business? Mm-hmm. And what we endeavor to do is make it possible for you to work on your business, and we'll take care of all the minutia of sorting out what things are going to happen in your business, right?
Yeah, and that's a great big picture explanation of just like what the mission is for Ease and overall some of the benefits I think that come with leverage, yep. Right? Being able to utilize, in this case, automation, AI, to be able to leverage our resources. I think all of us know that that's really where businesses scale, right? Is the ability to leverage. And so let's talk a little bit more about, like, I mentioned earlier that with a membership into Top Producers Nation, an agent is going to get access to our community. They're going to get access to a course. They're going to, which could be self-guided, and they can execute it all themselves. But I also know that because there's so much content within our course, there's going to be a need for agents to get help in getting things put to work for them.
Right.
So we have a done-for-you type service, which includes an option of getting a full-fledged CRM build-out, right? Which is really where this partnership comes in with the Ease Association. So let's elaborate a little bit, and then we'll talk about the event as well and what we're going to try to get accomplished there with the event. But what are some of the specific things, Ken, that agents can expect to see as far as the benefits and the systems and the programs and processes when they work with us, upgrade to a SaaS, let's say, upgrade so that they have a full-fledged CRM? What are some of the things that they would get from that and that would help them leverage their business?
Yeah, I even stopped calling it CRM because at this point it's an entire business automation suite.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? I mean, we started back in the days of things like, I remember writing code in a platform called Q&A back in the 90s where you'd write your own database and the fields in it and all that stuff just to be able to catalog your clients and what you said to them and, when you're supposed to talk to them next. So it evolved from what we called a contact relationship manager or a client relationship manager. And then we said CRM and marketing platform, right? And so there's the Salesforces and the HubSpots and in the specificity of real estate, there's your Follow-Up Boss and Chime and Lofty and some of these. But now, it's like I say, I've stopped calling it even a CRM. It's a business. I mean, we have all the functionalities of like a DocuSign or a PandaDoc with a document of signing and warehousing, all the functionalities of like a Hootsuite for social media management, all of the functionalities of your bookkeeping, your payment processing, everything that you might do as a small business is loaded in there. And so we make it a standard that when you join as a member, and our memberships start as low as $99, that when you join as a member, you automatically get access to that business automation software suite because you need it. And there's elements in there, I don't care what you're using, that it's going to fill a gap that you have that you might even not know you have right now. And so being able to provide that as a base layer of support for our members and then dig down into, we have a customer survey form, a member survey form that kind of digs into what are you doing now? What do you wish you were doing? Right? What do you see other people doing that looks like it's working for them? What have you done that doesn't work? Right? And where do you want to be? And within that conversation, it's easy to identify some spots where maybe some of the things that just come part and parcel to what we're doing can fill those gaps. And because we understand how you operate as a blank, right, we have these pre-programmed, pre-configured features that are snap-on, plug-and-play, let's go type of things, as opposed to, when you sign up for a new CRM, you have to get training on it. You got to get configuration. Maybe one of your staff members has to become expert. You might need to contract somebody. If we can remove all of that and just make it actionable. So to your point with like Top Producers Nation, what I loved about that was if you look at any business model, if you endeavor to do anything in business, you always start with strategic, tactical, operational, right? This is where we want to go and what we want to do. This is where we want to be positioned in the market, right? Tactically, here's the different partnerships, the different things we're going to leverage, the markets we're going to go after, and then operationally, this is exactly how we're going to do it, right? So Top Producers Nation is amazing in terms of the training and the familiarization and the why and the how and all of that. I think the added layer when we put the tools in your hands is now it's operational, right? So we can tell you how to do it, and we can help you get it done. And that's kind of the stair-stepped idea of it. And when we first,
which is where you leverage your time, which is our most important resource. Absolutely. Is the ability to free our time up.
So working on your business now, you're back. People talk about automation, and they say, "Well, I don't know. I really want to stay connected to my customers. I want to be authentic with them, pal." There's no better way to do it than to automate all the stuff that's in your way of getting back in front of them again.
Right.
And this is the idea. We don't replace the parts of what you're doing that are that really warm, important connection. We enhance it, right? And when somebody really sees how these different things work, they calm down about I'm creating a robot that's going to take my place. Of course not. Right. So that's, I think that's the big discovery when we first talk to people and get them for a longer, like 30-minute or 1 hour type of a review presentation. When they're at the end of that, they're like, this is totally different than what I thought it was going to be.
And if somebody was interested in just learning more about that specifically and having one of those presentations, they would just reach out to you directly at
Ken at easeassociation.com.
Right.
That's the easiest way.
Yep.
What you'll see in there, it describes a lot of these things, but if you just click the book a demo, that's the easiest way.
Right. Now, I know as part of this partnership as well through the Ease Association, you guys have a list of partners and vendors that you guys have vetted and that you feel confident have the same mission, right? And that are aligned, that are going to add that additional value. I know one of them is Proppy that we're going to have at our event in a couple of weeks, and there's many others. We'll probably dig in a little bit deeper to what each one does a little bit later. But for now, can you just give a quick overview of who some of these partners are? What are the benefits for the agents to have access to these groups?
Well, so you've heard me say this before, and those that know me hear me say it all the time, but it's the truest thing I know. It's either you're on the train or you're on the tracks when it comes to technology. Either you're using all these things and absorbing them and figuring them out and applying them, or you're getting run over by everybody else who is.
Yep.
And it'll come. And I just saw something on OpenAI. They had a conference the other day, and their cost to deliver the AI solutions that they started on a couple of years ago when they first made it public, what used to cost them $1 now costs them a penny. And so the scalability of that at the user level, us being the users, right, that goes right back to that do more with less for more.
Sure.
Right? And so if we're not leveraging all these things that can empower us to empower our clients, and others are, it's easy math, right? So just think about it in that way. So, if you were a accountant and QuickBooks come out 20, 30 years ago, whatever it was, and you said, you know what, I'm not going to use that, right? I don't like this idea of technology taking our place. Well, guess what? You're a dinosaur. You're no longer an accountant. You're doing something else.
Yep.
So you adopted it.
You have fallen behind.
Yep. And you figured out how to serve more clients in a deeper fashion with that platform, right?
Right.
You didn't abandon it. You didn't walk away from it, or you lost to those who did abandon or did adopt it, right? So,
no, it makes a lot of sense. And like I said, when a member is a part of the group, they literally have access to being able to see almost like an a la carte type option, like what all these different services are, and they can select what they want, select what they don't, ignore what they don't, and have that freedom too to be able to not just be pigeonholed into everything.
Right.
But that's one of the benefits, I believe, as well as being involved, in the overall partnership and in the program. So I mentioned earlier that we're going to be doing an event in a couple of weeks. It was supposed to be last night. Now it's going to be on October 10th. It'll be at the Godfrey Hotel. Some of you should hopefully are familiar with that venue.
If it's still there.
The Godfrey is still there, I believe. The bridge is closed right now, but I think the hotel hopefully will be okay. It's a beautiful, actually, a hotel on the back. We have the grand ballroom area, and then behind that, there's a waterfront, patio area that will have live music, and there will be a happy hour from 5 to 6 p.m.
7700 West Courtney Campbell Causeway.
There we go. Yep. Godfrey Hotel. That's the address right there. Yep. So we'll send out a link to that people can register for, and we even have a promo code to help you guys with a couple free tickets if you want to as audience members. But let's talk a little bit about what people could expect by coming to the event. So like I said, there's going to be a happy hour from 5 to 6. Plan is 6 to 8 p.m. There will be a meeting. Couple different speakers are allocated for that meeting. Information session, you can call it. I actually will be one of the speakers there talking about the 4 principles of being a top producer, one of which is marketing automation to create your ideal lifestyle. Fits right in with the Ease mission. And I'll elaborate on the other 3 principles too. During my talk, Ken will be on the agenda talking about, again, automation and the AI technology and demystifying it and what some of these things are exactly that are helping agents and how that is. We're going to have, I know, Eric with Proppy there as well talking. He's our main sponsor for the event, and he's going to be sharing specifically what Proppy is doing, not only to partner with Ease, but also talking about what they're doing to help serve agents on a higher level. And we have a couple other partners. I think Brandon Rhymes with Consumer Quarterback. Shout out to you, Brandon. I believe he'll be on our panel. I'm going to be moderating a panel there with a couple of different leaders. So anything that you can add, Ken, as far as the event itself, what agents should expect? Number one, why should they go? And what do you think they're going to get out of it by attending? What would they expect to learn?
Yeah, I call it the so what. Well, we're doing this thing. Well, so what? So the so what is that, for those people who have seen, here's the 5 AI websites, and you've saved it. You've decided that you want to try it, but it's in some box waiting for you to go get to. And it's just like when you go to these networking events and you get 20, 30 cards and you shake hands and you have cocktails. You're like, yeah, let's follow up on that. And that stack of 20 cards goes on top of the stack of other 20 cards from the other networking. What'd you do with them, right? And so it's a get to thing, right? So most of us get caught up in what I call, and what a lot of people use the term, is analysis paralysis, right? You see the different things, you get passionate about the idea of that would be amazing to be able to use, right? But the time to spend to go do that, now you're digging back down into working in your business, right? And so what we hope to do is expose you to the different ones that we've researched, evaluated, and certified as best in class for each of the different applications that they serve.
Yep.
And some of these applications are applications that you don't even know exist yet, like asset tokenization, as an example. What is that? It's the fractionalization of either an investment for the development of a property, right? It could be a multi-tech, could be a high-rise, whatever, and chopping up the investment blocks into like maybe 10,000 blocks, at $1,000 each in a $10 million project, right? And being able to democratize the investment of it instead of having to go to a whale that's going to give you X amount of dollars and, really tough terms and conditions. So this is possible now, right? Or, maybe I have a portfolio of properties and I don't want to sell one of them to do the next deal, but it's a $5 million property. I need $1 million to put down as a down for the next thing. I can fractionalize the ownership and liquidate just 20% of it, not lose ownership, not lose control. And so that's just one example, right? You didn't know that you could do these things. So these are the kind of things that you're going to get exposure to. That's one example. There's a lot. Right down to the daily activities that you do. Having, we talked about AI bots. And as soon as you say bot, there's a dividing line of people's reaction to that.
Yep.
I want to leverage that and I want to get as much efficiency as I can out of it. Or I don't want technology to take my place and my customers to feel disassociated from me.
Yep.
Right? Well, guess what? There's a blend. You can both be efficient and maintain the intimate relationship, and how to do that is the trick, right?
Yeah, and really good automation is going to feel like it's customized anyway, so that it does connect still. It actually, like you said earlier, it helps you connect at a higher level and more consistently than you can ever do manually.
Right. Well, so, the way I describe good technology is you don't know it's there.
Sure.
When Elon Musk came and he battled the entire financial industry to create PayPal with others, right? And there'll be varying degrees of people what they say about that, but the whole idea that you can pick your phone up and click less than 5 buttons and have money taken out of one account and put it in another instantly, right? That flattened things.
Revolutionary.
I don't know how these packets get wrapped in the internet for security as it goes. I don't know. I have no idea.
Right.
I don't need to.
Right.
I'm getting the I'm getting the result.
Just need to know it works.
And that's the objective of good technology, is delivering the result without the headache of how it gets done.
Yep. Totally. No, it makes a lot of sense. So the event that we're having in a couple of weeks, in your opinion, agents who are there that attend are going to learn some of these different programs and principles. What else do you think they would leave with as far as opportunities, or, what's the objective for them to attend?
There's so many different types that we have in our audience, right? There are people who are, nearing the end of their careers, and they want to spend less time working on it and still maintain the business that they've got. They'll get more free time as a result of it. There's those who want to scale their organizations to a significantly larger size. It'll help. My favorite word is scale, and all of these things help you to do that.
Yeah.
Right? So there's something for every different slice of type of person and what they're looking to do there. You can tweak this stuff to serve your needs, whatever it is you're trying to do. It's just the how and why.
Cool. Yep. And like I said, with technology, there's going to be options in terms of what you want to immediately turn on and what maybe sounds cool, but it might be something that you would apply later, right?
Yep.
Down the road. That's the thing that Ken just mentioned, is that it's not going to be one cookie cutter approach for everybody that's there. And not even just for agents, by the way. I mean, I think there's a lot of practicality for mortgage lenders, even other vendor lists. I know here with Tampa Bay Real Producers, we have 60 something plus partners right now in, I want to say 20 something different industries.
Yep.
And so the ability to actually help leverage and automate all of your efforts in any industry will still be talked about there, and there will be value there, even if we have like one specific package that will be presented made for real estate agents called our Top Producers Growth Package. We'll talk about that too at the event, and maybe even a little bit on the show. But the reality is that any business owner, especially if you're a partner with Tampa Bay Real Producers, I would encourage you to check this out and be there, so that I think you'll find value in what's going to be covered there for sure. Yep. You can RSVP, by the way, just to get it out there now, at events, EVENTS, the word events, .myease, MYEASE, myease.org, O-R-G. If you go to that link, events.myease.org. I'm sure we can throw that up on our description as well. You can just click there. You'll have opportunities to RSVP there for tickets, and then I can throw out the promo code, I guess, right, on the podcast. So if you want 2 free tickets, we have a promo code as listeners to our show, followers of Tampa Bay Real Producers, agents that we know. All you have to do is put in a promo code TPN, and that stands for Top Producers Nation, and you get 2 free tickets to be able to attend the event on October 10th, starting at 5 o'clock at the Godfrey Hotel. So I would encourage you to check it out. I think it'll be awesome, and I'm excited to kind of officially launch the Top Producers Nation community program there too with you, and talk more about how that all shakes out and all that works. So before we let you go, Ken, and put a bow here on this briefer episode today of our live show, give somebody a little bit more of an insight on your personal side for people who might want to get to know you a little bit more. What's your story? Are you married? Do you have kids? What keeps you busy when you're not jamming in the automation world?
2 kids in college. Yeah. In San Marcos, Texas, at Texas State. Very proud of them both. Just recently owned a magazine called Chicago Scene Magazine in Chicago. Yep. And
Ken and I have that in common with both owning magazine businesses. Yes.
And so we produced, some of the biggest events. We still Chicago Scene Boat Party every year, 500 boats, 10,000 people, right in front of the Hancock Building, what they call the playpen, floating debauchery.
Fits right into the Chicago scene.
Proud, not proud. And but when COVID came, it really kind of, every one of our clients in the entire world, a restaurant, hotel, nightclub and so on, were dead in the water for a couple of years. And that's kind of what led me to now what, right? And in the now what, you start looking around for how am I going to do this and so on, and looking for resources that helped me figure out what to use and how to use it. I saw the gap, and that's kind of where ease came from. But, to the point of being able to, leverage all these things and the people coming to the event, the one thing I did want to touch on is the Power Broker program. You mentioned realtors, and you mentioned lenders, and there's title, and there's insurance. And so I see the word mastermind used a lot, and I see it misused a lot. So people will use that, and they'll say mastermind, and it's kind of like they're positioning themselves as, I'm an expert in this space, and come listen to me, and there's 100 of you, and I'm one talking, and that's a mastermind group. That's not what a mastermind group is. So if you research a little bit about the idea of a true mastermind group, it was kind of born out of the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Sure. And Napoleon Hill was commissioned by Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate back in the day, to go out and research what every one of the top industrial magnates of their time, Henry Ford,
the greatest
and
thinkers,
Rockefeller, and all of that. In fact, there was a little blurb I saw on the line the other day. There was 23 guys who were part of PayPal. And all of those 23 guys went on to do all these amazing things. If you research it, you'll find it. I don't remember all the names of them, but every one of them was tied to some significant other platform afterwards. And it's because the whole idea of a really well-structured mastermind is that it's a groupthink, but there's a lot of structure and commitment to the process that's rolled into it and that you adhere to. You can't miss the meetings. When you do make a commitment of, okay, I got a guy that can help you with that thing as you're talking about what you need, that means I'm going to set the meeting up. Yep. And I'm going to make sure the meeting happens and that other guy comes to it, and I broker that in the right way, not just, here's his phone number, good luck, he's the guy to talk to, right? Yep. So when done in this style, it's a significantly stronger way for collaboration. And we know in the real estate community that that's a key to growth for everybody in it. We see lenders and realtors and title and all these different people that partner together. They'll say, "Oh, let's buy some Zillow leads," and they'll split the cost. This is so much different than that. And so we've built a module that is based on that mastermind group concept for collaboration called the Power Broker module. And it's rolled in. That's part of our New World Realtor Package and Top Producers program now that it really is a game changer in terms of, you're a lender and you want to partner with realtors. Well, you can call him up and ask him if he wants to get coffee. And like every other lender does,
Sure.
or you can say you've got a dynamic new way of partnering and you want to include some other people to collectively grow your businesses.
Yep.
Right? So who's going to say yes to that? The right guy is going to say yes to that.
Right.
And so you're going to get people who are really committed to growing their business alongside with you, and it's structured and modeled to where it gives you all hints on how to do that.
Yeah, and that's one of the features that's, again, in this Top Producers Growth Package that we're going to be talking about at the event. Before we put a bow on this episode, are there any other specific things that you wanted to highlight that are part of, say, that package for agents?
I mean, Proppy is our lead sponsor, and for good reason. They're at the forefront of evolution, and the landscape of real estate transactions is changing, right? And the value proposition by all of us and the perception of that is changing as we go. And so you see, whether it's in brokerages, like it could be EXP or Real or LPT or Epic.
Yep.
We've got these rev share models
model,
and the distributed support services and online, brokerages. Nexa as a mortgage provider, they have like a virtual 7-layer, right? Proppy's launching an ambassador program at the event that includes everybody in the whole mix with RESPA compliant partnering. So if you think about that and what we just talked about with the Power Broker module, but their platform begins with lead gen, where they give you lead lists to work from. They have an alternate MLS, offer management, listing promotion services. They can do free videos, free content for the websites and social media. When somebody does make an offer, an AI engine reads the entire contract and creates a digital timeline for automated transaction coordination, streamlining that entire process with a portal that your client can go onto and have immediate, transparent access to and know exactly what's going on at any time. So the example I use is you call your agent and you say, did the loan come? Did the appraisal come in? Was it at the right amount? Did the loan go through? And there's a call to the title, and the title calls the lender, and the lender calls the appraiser, and that reverse chain of conversation goes, and you're calling the guy back in a day or two.
Yep.
Right? Where this, it's like, well, let's log on and see.
Yeah.
And it's really that seamless.
Like I said, Eric's going to be there talking as the local rep for Proppy.
It's an amazing platform, and the value proposition, it goes to the listing client, it goes to the buying client, it goes to both agents, it goes to everybody involved. And that's what's exciting when we, as the association, are able to find a partner like that is such a shift change in terms of what the status quo is to after the fact. It digitizes every title so that you've got 2 copies now. You got your printed copy, one's recorded at the courthouse, and you've got one that's a digital certificate with the actual code stamped on the printed version that gets recorded.
Yeah.
Right? So really, really different stuff that's going to
and
change.
you mentioned some of these lead campaigns, and I think we'll talk about it again too, as far as some details with the package at the event. But my understanding is there's going to be for sale by owner campaigns that are customized and built in.
Yep.
One for open houses, which I thought was cool, the geofencing concept, right?
Let me touch on that just a second.
Go ahead.
So this is where, in part, my geeky, background in the wireless technology and some of the other things, we're able to blend a couple of different technologies together where we can pull from IDX that reaches into all the different MLSs, which locations have open houses. And we pull those addresses, and then through cellular technology, we can draw a polygon around just that one building, that one house, And anybody that walks into those buildings, this really sounds creepy, but it's great.
Well, I get how geofencing works. It's
Yeah.
normal. I mean, we've been into stores before where you walk out of a retail store and you see like a free offer or notification that pops up on your phone.
It's the same
It's the
process.
same thing. It's
and
just
so
geofencing.
your phone has all of our devices, our phones, our computers, our iPads, have what's called a MAC ID address, machine access code ID address. It's not your IP address. It's for the device. We can recognize what devices go in those fenced around open house homes over that week. And then we can retarget them with ads over the next 180 days, which means that, even if it's a couple and their 2 kids, we can filter out anybody under 21 years old, right? And serve them ads about homes for sale in that neighborhood at that price point, right? And directly engage people that we've filtered out that are obviously interested enough to spend part of a Sunday going to walk into that building as a prospect.
Yeah.
Right.
Even if you just wanted to have these leads be part of your nurture campaign.
Right.
Like you can just having them as a lead source, right? Where every time, not only can you run ads to them, but you can then just take and add them to whatever list you currently are building anyway for your nurturing campaigns, which is something that we also talk about and should help you with too. That's just another very smart way, I think, to have a very targeted, lead collection process.
Right. And without having to demystify all of that on your own, but to just have it as a campaign that you can say, yeah, let's do this. Let's spend $200 on that at $1 per 150 impressions, right? It's a pretty cost-effective way to reach a very finite market segment. And it's all pre-configured in your platform so that you push a button and it's going. And when those leads come in off of that, there's an entire automation and sequence that happens right off of that. So
no, it makes sense. And I know there's even another campaign that has to do with expired listings in there. I mean, nothing new. I mean, every real estate agent out there has heard, hey, I can call expired listings. I mean, that's a pretty normal process. But to have, again, a marketing campaign that has been proven to actually convert and one that is doing it while you're sleeping, that's just another thing that you can toggle on and off and have option to help you grow. So
you're going to make a phone call.
It's all about leverage.
Yeah, you're going to make a phone call on those expired listings and you're going to say something.
Yeah.
Whatever that something you're going to say is, if you record that one time and you're authentic and you say it exactly the way you're going to say it, you can do a point-and-click voicemail drop to every one of those expired listings in about a minute. And then follow those up with another call that's direct with you, hoping to catch them live, and a text, and an email, and all the above. So, that's an example of you're not losing authenticity. You're leaving an authentic email. It's your voice, recorded once, but sent with technology to everybody on that list simultaneously.
Totally.
Yep.
And that's what leverage really is all about, right? Taking advantage of, listen, at the end of the day, our real goal here is, at least my passion that I have, and this is what I'm going to talk about in my 4 principles message. It's about trying to help more real estate agents live their desired lifestyles. And so a big part of that is getting all the way through the 4 principles and making sure that the 4th one is in place, which is marketing automation, leveraging automation, because that's where you can really live the life you want, right? That's probably why you got licensed in the first place, is to have that free time to spend a little bit more with family, friends, things you love to do. Of course, you're not going to do that 24 hours a day because you're going to spend some time with clients. But if you can balance and leverage some of the built-in processes to help you grow your business without it having to be so heavy all the time for you to push that mountain up the hill, that's where these leverages, it's all about leverage, right? It's all about turning the right lever on so that you can start to see some of that work.
Scale.
And that's what Ease is really designed to do. And again, that's really aligned with the Top Producers Nation mission to help people become top producers in their desired markets all over the country. And so that's why there's a really good synergy there for the partnership to take place. So I guess we'll end with this live stream anyway, as far as go to the event, right? We got the event in 2 weeks on the 10th. Again, the link to RSVP is events.myease.org. You could check out more of about Top Producers Nation, by the way, in the community, and actually join the community at topproducersnation.com. And there's some videos there that walk you through that. When you do join Top Producers Nation, you'll be asked to have an option for upgrading to our SaaS package, which is basically turning on a lot of what Ken just elaborated on, since those offers are intertwined. You can go to easeassociation.com as well and learn a little bit more about the mission statement there and Ken's organization. So ultimately, Lightning, the last thing you want to say, Ken, before we put a bow on the live stream?
I'm looking forward to seeing everybody out there. We go to these things and we can't wait to tell everybody what we know and what we think and what we have and all that kind of stuff. it's really an amazing opportunity to learn, what are others doing? What's the next discovery for us to look at, evaluate, research, and maybe qualify for the rest of the market to be able to use? The sensing, the monitoring process in marketing is everything. If you don't know the directions, if you're not listening, you don't know.
Yep.
So it'll be a great opportunity for that as well.
So those of you who have followed our podcast episodes know that we try to end every single episode with a call to action. And that's the same thing I'll say as we put a bow on today's episode. What is one action step that you can take moving forward that's going to help propel you forward personally or professionally, even just based on this conversation here with Ken? And it could be as simple as just simply registering for the event, right? So maybe that's the action step that you need to take, is go to events.myes.org, get signed up, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Maybe you just need to have a follow-up conversation with someone like Ken. You can reach out to him at ken@easeassociation.com. He can jump on a Zoom call with you and really spend an hour or so going through the practicality of these automations and how it can help you grow your teams. If you're a team leader or a brokerage, if you're a broker, or if you're a lender out there and you want to talk to him about some of the applications there. I know Ken loves talking to lenders and has some specific opportunities for them. So maybe that's the step, right? But do something. Take action. To move forward today with some sort of action so that this time was worth it in investing, whether you're in your car or listening live stream on any of our platforms that we have. If you don't already subscribe, click the button below. That way you're notified every time a new episode drops, which is every Friday. We drop a new episode every Friday morning. And we will see you, of course, on the next episode of the Tampa Bay Real Producers Podcast and at the Godfrey Hotel in 2 weeks. We'll see you there.